What's going on, y'all? This is Rich Latta here, back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Temi Fagbenle's departure from the Indiana Fever. Kind of a sensitive topic right now within the Fever fan community. I've been wanting to do this video for a little bit, but I was a little under the weather last week. Feeling a little bit better now. Appreciate you guys for some of the kind words. Shout out to my man Willard, and shout out to Jessica. Appreciate you guys reaching out. So Temi Fagbenle got drafted in the expansion draft by the Golden State Valkyries, something that I did not see coming. I made a video a few months ago laying out the 6 people I would have protected. It seems like the Fever had a difference on at least one of them. A lot of people speculated whether they were protecting Dantas, Grace Berger, Victoria Saxton. Whatever the case was, Temi Fagbenle's name came up. I was shocked as it happened because I mean, if she was unprotected, obviously, you know, she's going to be somebody you pick. Talented player, good locker room presence, veteran player, been around the game, been in the league, out the league, like as far as like internationally. And I think, I believe Chicks Dig Scar, shout out to him. He basically like said this was the first player that I think a lot of Caitlin Clark fans kind of connected with, and I would definitely count myself among them. Early in the season, it was a struggle to really see anybody have some kind of chemistry with her, just to figure out, you know, what they could do to make themselves most effective, and then, you know, in turn, like transform your special player. Temi Fagbenle figured out early. All she has to do is run the floor and finish. In the first half of the season, she was super strong at that. She was a defensive presence. She was someone that was tough, someone that didn't really take any crap, which this team definitely is going to need people on it like that. And, you know, she was someone I think a lot of people like kind of connected with, like as a energy vet player. And she was someone that had like her own style off the court. I think, you know, she had a lot going on to make her appealing for, you know, what she did. I think she gained a lot of new fans this year. And her leaving, unfortunately, is just part of the journey now, part of the growth, the opening chapter of, you know, the Caitlin Clark era in, you know, the Indiana Fever is like, yo, there was this one player that was on the team that really understood it quicker than everyone. And eventually, like, Fagbenle will be in a documentary, the 10-part Caitlin Clark documentary that will come out at the end of her career. Temi Fagbenle is gonna be mentioned in it. And just in the short term, though, this front office for the Indiana Fever has been kind of hired to do the things that championship teams do, and sometimes that is getting rid of beloved players, beloved veterans, folks that, you know, are deemed untouchable. Like, you look at her statistical profile, it's nothing really that special. It was like 6 points a game, 3 rebounds or so. But sometimes, like, yo, your feelings go beyond what the stats look like for people. And Fagbenle is a player like that. Fortunately, she did get injured a few times, I believe, with a thumb. It was such a joy to see her back in the lineup. Then she went out again a separate time. And then I don't think she really came close to her effectiveness early in the season. But, you know, the rest of the team kind of filled in around her. And part of that new front office, this seems like they're going to be embracing, like, you know, a great offensive game plan. And at this point, it's like, all right, where are Temi's minutes going to come from, combined with her potential contract? And, you know, you got to figure out that front rotation, especially like when the free agent market is going to be kind of as robust as it is for the Fever. Fever is going to have like their, you know, pick of the litter. And if you're like, all right, someone makes the Fagbenle decision for you, it's one less rigid aspect of, all right, she's gonna, you know, do you bring her back and then cut her minutes? And then people are like, well, why are you, you know, not using Temi Fagbenle? It could turn into a thing. And then, like, thinking about, you know, what the Fever want to do, you know, they want Sasu Sabally. I think someone else like Natasha Howard would be someone to look for. There are several like forwards in the league that can kind of come in and do what she does, and possibly give you a little bit more on the offensive end. And I think that's kind of what this team is looking to do. They're trying to get maximum versatility, the inside and outside. You got Aaliyah Boston there, but surrounding her with, you know, versatile people who can step out and give her space, and also, you know, screen set and do a lot of versatile things, because, like, I think the stars and most of the scoring is spoken for, but if you can be a dangerous kind of specialist, it doesn't really leave a lot of room for, energy defensive players. I do hope that the Fever do find value in that, because there are going to be ugly games. It's not going to be all pretty. I remember the Washington Mystics game that the Fever lost at home. I think maybe in the second half of the season, where everything was rolling, and all of a sudden it was a game where nothing was working and they were playing catch up the entire time. And those are games like ones you need energy players. You need players to come in and do things like Naira Sabali did in the NBA Finals, where she just kind of comes in like a force of nature outside the offense. Like, that's something I can see Fagbenle doing. She's going to be a tremendous asset for Golden State, whichever way that franchise ends up going as far as like star player wise. Like, they've got a lot of international players. She's going to have the distinction of playing with, she played with Caitlin Clark this year. She's going to play with Kate Martin next year. So I think she's going to be loved in a lot of different ways from, like, the fan base that came with Iowa into the league. And I think, this is just part of it. This happens in the NBA all the time. We all kind of have our favorite role players. But this is a part of, a front office that I think we need to be willing to look at and trust, especially if you're rooting for the Indiana Fever. And, these are smart people that are doing these things. So, and, in the WNBA, deals are short. Players change teams a lot. Who says that this is the last time, like, she might suit up for the Fever? They might bring her back, in like 2 years or so. All in all, Temi's departure gives more flexibility to the Fever, leaves it out of their hands. Like, well, it was the draft. We couldn't save everybody. And, a lot of people were like, well, why not like Nalissa Smith? And I'm here to tell you, like, because Nalissa Smith has tons more value than Temi Fagbenle, as far as like being damn near 10 years younger. The draft pedigree, as far as being the second pick in the draft, potentially, being a free agent at the end of the year, the potential of trading her for somebody who, may want her. But it's it's a tough league. Like, I'm sure Temi Fagbenle gets it. Like, this isn't the first time she's changed teams. It's just, this is the Fever, I think, is a new thing. And, I think people married themselves to the idea of that roster last year when it's set to change. Like, there's a core that's there that beyond what was just protected in the expansion draft. Like, it's like, if they want to be there, it will be Clark, Mitchell, Boston, and pretty much the rest of the pieces over time will be interchangeable, unless, Lexi Hull continues to carve herself out as some Tony Allen type defender who, combines it with the 3-point shooting that he would never have. So, like, if it's not Clark, Mitchell, Boston, you're probably going to be looking at a lot of like revolving doors, unless, a fourth kind of person like a Satu is in, because they're going to try to eventually get her on a long-term deal. So, I would say, if you're a Fever fan kind of upset about this, it's part of the game. And, you can always watch Temi Fagbenle or root for her when, she comes back. I think she'll get a standing ovation when she comes back, to Gainsbridge Fieldhouse. And that's all you can really ask for. So, like, these players get it. They're grown. They understand the business behind this stuff. And it is, it's part of it. But things will continue to move forward for the Fever, because all they can do is go up. So very excited who they might pull in. My thought is in Natasha Howard, as far as like a backup forward. If you're not, say Satu is unavailable to get in free agency, I think Natasha Howard would be someone that would be really good there. Anyway, my name is Rich Latta. Appreciate you guys watching this video. I'll holla at you next time. Peace.